is. Are you kidding me, Jack? Now, when you
Grabe, ngayon pala pinasok si Kai. Second quarter lang, kaya tambak tuloy.
they're still 1 for 5.
First quarter, 9 lang ang Adelaide. Tapos yung coach walang ginawa, hindi man lang pinasok si Kai. Ang tagal bago palitan yung first fight.
There's some certain statistical categories you look at, you say, well, boys, your effort's not just not where it needs to be.
Yes! Yes!
Blocks that out of play. There was no serve.
Yeah, good. That is a good effort. Use the big fella when he's down there. That's his strength, his size, and
making a difference.
It's that one-on-one matchup. McCarron is whistled for a look. Orange 22. Official was on the scene, said that the hand that wasn't on the basketball was used to hook around McCarron.
yeah, it was. Good call. Easy call.
Drew, how do you fix their offense? How do you fix Adelaide's offense right now?
Well, it's about the execution and how hard you're going to set the screen.
Leave the ball to Kai.
It's hard to fix your offense.
That's how you fix the offense. You have to start shooting the ball.
Yeah, it's very hard to fix it sometimes on the fly, but you can only go back to those basics, the fundamentals a lot of the times, and the way in which they've been pushed out of it.
Is it fair to say McCarron needs to be a little bit more aggressive?
Yes! Woo! Dali mo, Kai!
History shows that he can be very good at that, but his shooting percentages this season aren't great. But here we go now. There's a 5-point run, and the crowd start to get involved.
Yes! Iba talaga! Oh. Ewan ko ba dito sa coach eh?
Adam Ford's seen enough. Here's Mitch McCarron.
Ano gusto mangyari ng
First
coach
made
na
bucket of
to?
the game.
And we know he can make it. So why not attempt a couple more? Not, you know, he's more of a
Tayin pang matambakan eh. 9 points sa first quarter.
And no doubt that's a fair comment, but from the field. So I think he needs just to be a little bit more patient, take the right shots, start to feel good about yourself, like we've seen here already after making it, then grow from there. But
it's a mindset too, Casey, because if you come in here thinking, I got to pass, then obviously you're not as confident in that shot. But if you take that McCarron from Cairns a couple of years ago when he was all about
playing off the ball more back when he was in Cairns. But that's what I'm saying. The problem here is he's got to spend so much time on the ball because these other guys, whilst contributing and doing well, they're not. Hang on a second. Whenever the great Ken Cole comes on the screen, we just pause and pay homage to one of the all-time greats as a player and a coach.
Well, let me just break your statement down here. So you're saying that because he brings the ball down, he shouldn't shoot? Or what?
No, what I'm saying.
Because you brought the ball down and you shot that thing every time you had it. So what's the difference?
There's some that can get that done. I don't know what it is, but it does play on you because you start to think, well, I've got to get others involved. It's not just about me. I've got to lead this team. I've got to get others involved. And I like this now. You see, now they got Duvmai and McCarron in. That allows him to play off the ball a little bit more than what it does with some of the other guys.
Gets back.
Yes!
5 for Bairstow. 8 unanswered points for the 36ers.
And there's the penalty. If you've got a team that's up and in and trying to deny and bust up those dribble handoffs, backdoor cuts, backdoor options become a little easier.
We don't see that enough in today's game.
Call from outside. It's not going to count. Tajima call 1 from 4.
Sayang, oh, pinuto sana kay Kai.
Soto trying to take position on the call. They couldn't find him.
Abang Kai!
Instead.
And it's interesting because you look at the little run the Adelaide 36 had here, it's good. It's got the scoreboard ticking over. Things are looking a lot sharper. But I thought when Dusty Hanners came on, gave him that offensive spark. 2 or 3, had 5 quick points, only played the 4 minutes. And you think at the imports and what they're required, the role they have to play, given that his last outing here, he exploded against Melbourne United. I'm surprised that he had a little bit more time.
Mines turns around. Jumpers off target. Sotto.
Yes.
Best on the offensive glass. Things have lifted significantly for the 36ers.
Manalo kayo.
The Taipans are yet to score in the term. It's 9-0 in quarter two.
Did he change uniforms or something? That's what it looks like, isn't it?
Well, that's right. And whether it's the scoring and you start to feel good about yourself, or I think it's more that
Buti naman,
the
pinagpahinga ka
application on the
naman.
defensive end, they come up with those stops, you start to feel you get a little bit more control of the game.
Yes, yes.
He has picked up another foul. That's his third.
That's just stupid, though.
That's
Wild swipe. He's frustrated he missed the shot.
He's swiping at the ball, and now you got to go sit down.
And we'll have to sit for a pretty significant period here, Coach. There's still 7 minutes before half time.
Yeah, I don't think he'll come back before half time.
Playing without Nature White, Kawhi and Jared Kenny today, the Taipans. Sotto fouls Zimmerman over the back.
He's had an impact, Kai Sotto. Brought a lot of energy since he's been on the floor this half.
+9.
And I think he's a big part of it. And now his individual numbers are, he's got the 2 boards, he's 0 of 2, but just his presence down the other end, the block shot.
Yes, yes.
McCarron surveys the floor up ahead. He's got runners everywhere. Dench draws contact from Nartai. 36ers are a completely different team in this second quarter.
Well, they're out and running. You get stops. It's a lot easier to run when you're not taking the ball out of the rim.
And trying to get it down the court.
Layo naman.
We saw this early on in the season. Remember when Adelaide 36ers played against the New Zealand Breakers? Now, their horror period went for a lot longer than this. They were like 21-22 down, and then just clicked into gear and to get it going. As Dusty had us.
First game back from COVID. Perhaps that may have something to do with it as well, Drew.
Well, he actually got on a plane and went to Brisbane, but because he'd spent that 7 days, that's a travel. Spent that 7 days in isolation and only arrived the day of the game. I think he just wasn't right, did it?
Ay, shucks!
It's been
Turnover naman.
a lot longer since he's had the COVID. But you're right, maybe some of the lingers around. It could be.
He's dropped a quick 5, though, when he came in, so...
Yes, yes! Ilang rebound na.
His coat was gone. Give me that.
Third rebound na yata nito.
2 for Maya. It's McCarron. He thought about the 3. Cut down low to Johnson. 12 points for the 36ers.
I've been begging for it for the whole first quarter. Just throw it inside and let it go to work, man.
Let's get down to Case. It looks a little bit better for the 36ers this term, John.
Certainly a much better second quarter than the opening term, it has to be said. Just further to your discussion regarding Dusty Hannahs, I was told by the physio, Nick Richardson, that it was just as much about his touch. He hadn't touched the ball for a week or so, or hadn't shot around, as well as it was about his physical capacity to go in Brisbane in the last game. And the good news for Mojave King is that he is available next week. They do have 2 games next weekend, the Adelaide 36ers, where, in fact, Sydney on the Sunday is their game. They have the double the following week, but Mojave King should be available to play next weekend.
You need all the help they can get.
Mojave King hasn't really been a huge factor this season, only averaging 10 minutes a game. And I like to have those bodies there, but
Balik si Hanas.
when you just look at the numbers, it's why you think that his absence we could cover a little bit more than some of the other guys on the team.
Fortis continuing to ring the changes. Marshall Nelson into the game for his first minutes. Could have hit in the last couple of weeks.
He's got hops too. He's got real hops.
Oh, yes! For the rebound.
Adelaide down 2 at quarter time. They were down 14. And this to potentially take the lead. This trip down the 4.
Yes! Woo! Makaroon lang ang nagpapasa talaga kay Kai. Yung iba, ayaw pasahan si Kai.
Wow. That was unintentional, but he comes from behind. But this is just a great pass. And Natai down low. So Zimmerman has to help. But Natai's got to get into the legs of Sotto. He got too close to the rim. And with Zimmerman caught in that help situation, without that third man coming over for the rotation and keeping him out of the paint, with that size of Sotto, that's throw it up there anywhere around 11 feet, he can go get it for you.
And so he did.
That was shooting here.
Made his NBL debut when the teams played in round 3.
Okay, can we just get this section here in front of
Yes, Sotto has been great in this quarter. Really brought the energy. 4 boards.
Iba talaga pagka nasa loob si Kay Sotto.
Shot as well.
Walang high five yan eh. Pero totoo naman eh.
And plus 14.
And as we spoke about pre-game, Coach, he's got for the remainder of this season, has got a really good opportunity to
Kasi kahit paano din, intimidate yung kalaban eh. Tsaka nag-iingat eh. Lalo na pag natapal na
Johnson
niya.
not playing the same ball as Daniel Johnson
Tapal na
does.
niya.
That's
Parang
someone that can come in
ilag niya eh.
and score the ball and change the game for you.
He's different, isn't he?
That's what he does.
He brings something different that you don't have to deal with on a day, night in, night out basis in this league.
36ers in front. What a turnaround it's been in this second term. The Taipans are stone cold. Down to Zimmerman. Turns Sotto inside out. Their first bucket of the quarter.
Ayaw niya kasi mag-foul eh.
9 and 7 so far. He's the leading scorer. Offensive foul. Daniel Johnson.
We gotta call that. I don't want to go back to starting. You gotta get hit in this game.
It looks like
Lakas ng boses ni Coach CJ.
Well, I think when you're driving, and it looked like DJ actually stopped, and it just it was a contact.
Camera, yung microphone, ang lakas.
Do you think it was a flop?
I think there is a strong argument that CJ can make that was one that had a bit of a stench of flopping about it.
He did stop. Yeah, he stopped. A stench of flopping.
It just had a little smell of flopping.
Just detected in the air, Christian Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh!
It's inside.
This is a new big brother in here. What's going on with him? He's aggressive.
Swerte ka lang.
They're making a priority of him, and I think Sotto, despite his size and he uses his length, I think he's got to do a better job trying to up front. Zimmerman catches that close. As we said right at the top of the show, for all the good things Sotto has, he's still got to develop that
Hindi na kayang foul mo daw.
to be able to bang with those big guys and just not get bullied out of them. That time Zimmerman pounding dribble in. That little push creates that separation to get that shot off.
The boat. Adelaide
Ay,
has
hindi
16, I should say,
counted.
Adelaide's best scoring run of the season so far. Dusty Hannah's trapped in the corner.
Now, you learn this when you learn this at the age of 2.
No, maybe 6.
No, 1 when you come on Earth. You learn this. You know, you let it see the ball that low under the free throw line. Ever in the corner because you got nowhere to go.
for both teams with every foul.
It is unusual that a full-court extended press at this level can be so effective. And despite Dusty's size, you got those two big fellas come and put him in that trap.
You don't go in the corner, first of all.
And I reckon, no, exactly. And I think that's what...
Nesto, parang hindi ko pa nakitang nagpasa kay
Figure out how
Sotto.
to beat this press break.
You take it out. Again, on that catch, Dusty when he caught the ball first. And then on the, just throw it off his leg. Don't try and throw it in somewhere else. Throw it off his leg and we're good. So in point, this guy comes big, there, be ready to come this side, get the ball in, get it over, let's get it across half court. When we break the press, and we're going to run short, so it's just a straight on ball in the middle of the floor, other big goes short, so he's going this way, he's coming off, he's popping.
4 rebounds na si Kyle.
So with Dusty on the floor, dribble up here, and then via screen. Screen the middle guy, Dusty stay high wherever the ball is, you dribble up,
I think
same
fouls.
side, and then he's coming to get you, you're drilling that.
Adelaide down to
So far, 2 points, 2 fouls, 4 rebounds si Kyle. Second quarter lang naman siya pinasok, hindi siya pinasok sa first quarter.
Look at his stats. He's only played 7 minutes, but it's
Sa hindi malamang dahilan.
He's had 1 shot. That's just not good enough. Jordan, you spoke about it earlier. He can give more. How do they get more from him?
I think in the rotations, like you played that first 7 minutes, came out, and what's happened is that the second half started and Adelaide got it going. So CJ's just stayed with the crew that's got it going and haven't brought him back in because things have turned around. So it's, again, you don't look at his numbers right now as an indictment on him because he hasn't really done anything individually. But the combinations is where it's happening. Like I was saying, Sotto, he's had a huge impact on us, but it's not like his numbers were off the charts. It's just that the energy that he was bringing and the combinations that they have on the floor.
That's because as an import,
Tama yung commentator.
he'd be under pressure and he'd be thinking about it himself. I mean, you haven't contributed. You feel like you haven't contributed at all. The other teams have caught up, but you've given nothing. No rebounds, no points, and you're on the bench. And that's when you start pressing. That's when you get in the game and you start pressing.
So Marshall Nelson can probably consider himself a little unlucky with that.
Yeah. He's picked up that fourth.
And that's where a guy like Sotto comes in now. And you don't lose score, but you don't lose much.
Really surprised that Hannah's come out of the game.
Foul trouble si Bearstow, 4 fouls na.
7
Kaya
points.
pinasok ko ni si
2
Kyle.
of 3. He was on there for a couple of minutes. Yeah, this one. And I know they hold him really accountable for what's happening on the defensive end. Perhaps there's something that CJ didn't like.
Macaron.
30-28 in the Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
To Kyle.
7 points for Mitch McCarron, all of them coming in the
Withers.
second quarter. It's a decent look for Withers. He's off target. Adelaide with the outnumber ahead. Johnson, bodies in.
Yes!
That's the way you got to get him going. He's been the leader of this team for a very long time, and he's been consistent for a very long time. There's no way he shouldn't be in the mix early to try to get this team going.
Whose team is it, Coach?
Is
that one of their biggest problems?
That's a great question. I was going to ask that.
Kyle! Kanin mo na yung bola pagka nakuha mo! Ikaw na! Huwag mo na ipasa. Ayaw kanila pasahan eh. Pagkakataon mo na pag pinasa sa'yo eh.
He found himself in all sorts of bother. Adelaide are going to get it back.
24-second shot clock. They never got a possession. I don't think he did. I don't think they gained possession. And to me, that should be a shot clock violation, I would expect. But maybe they did.
The officials are going to have a chat about it here. Yeah, there was no foul call on Johnson.
We checked the hour time should be on the 20.
Up here. Oh yeah, that's a pass. So that's where I guess they're saying that he gained possession and turned it over.
Johnson probably had a case for the foul.
100% he did.
36ers will inbound from the baseline. The clock sorted out.
Still Cairns just have not figured out, or just can't get anything going from the three-point line. 1 of 9, coming off that 3 of 27.
Kay, kailangan mo ng points para tumaas yung draft stock mo. Pag nakuha mo yung bola, i-shoot mo na. I-drive mo.
In their last 36 attempts. That's almost hard to comprehend at this level, how you can be so poor from the three-point line.
Minsan ka lang kasi pasahan ng bola eh. Kaya pagkakataon mo na pag napasahan ka eh.
They shoot 30% across the season as Pinder comes out with his second foul. Just to revisit Friday night's horror show for Taipans fans. 3 of 27 from the field. And 11% was a new low for any team this season. Well, guess what? They're at 11% again today.
They're consistent.
Well, my numbers were just from the second half of what they had. So it's over 15 and a half. You know, geez, sometimes you have a bad. Then the next half of basketball, which we're almost through, you're 1 of 9. You start to go, hang on, there's a significant pattern here that we've got some problems. Is it the quality of shots we're getting? Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it the quality of shots are we doing? Do we need to do a little bit more, design a few things up to get guys going? Because
this is the imbalance, though, Drew. So Jordan Nartai is probably their best three-point shooter out there. 1 3-point attempt, but Jock Dang has had no 3-point attempts. Jarrett 2. You're trying to get those guys more involved, would you not?
Better, anyway.
Nelson gets inside. Nice move.
And also, when you're pressing like that, it takes your legs. So those shots aren't as easy. Yeah. They're pressing the whole game. So now that three-pointer becomes a lot heavier and a lot harder.
Ay!
Because you got no legs.
Mirko Jarrett had a milestone game on Friday, game number 150 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Zimmerman's pass knocked down, and outside laying flat on his back.
Yes!
It's out of bounds. Last touch by Cairns.
Kay, simot ka, Kay. Isipin mo yung points mo, kailangan mo ng points.
And it's 32 all.
Melbourne and New Zealand to come. And a big fight back from Adelaide.
Got to give a lot of this, not a lot, but some of the credit to both these teams.
Pag napasahan ka, huwag mo na ipasa.
The defense that they're applying, they're getting after it. They are getting after it on the defensive end.
Yes, lamang yung Adelaide. 34. 34-32. Yes! Woo! Tapal!
The Cairns Taipans.
Yan, madala ka.
13 points now, and that is goaltending.
2 seconds left. Dead from halfway.
Lakas.
34 apiece at halftime at the Adelaide Entertainment.
Kay, sumot ka please. Sa mga next na pasok mo.
Level it up at the main break.
It is. It's a water turnaround.
Huwag mo na sila intindihin.
Just hard to get a read on this
Lagi
one.
na lang sila iniintindi mo. Ikaw naman, sipin mo yung sarili mo. Kailangan tumaas yung draft stock mo. Pataasin mo yung points mo. matagal ka sa loob ng floor, kailangan mataas din yung score mo.
Fire and spark to the game. Machado has not seen a lot. Doesn't look good either. Looks like he's carrying an injury that may not see him back in this one.
Ayaw kapasahan. Pag pinasa sa'yo, i-drive mo na, i-shoot mo na.
Or ticking over, even if your defense goes off the ball ever so slightly. But they put there is so much pressure on their defense because offensively, they haven't been able to get it done in recent times. Last in scoring, 77 points a game.
Let's go, guys! Let's go, please! Okay, we got 2.
And you think by the way they press.
He said he hit it. He said a foul. He called the foul on him, right?
You're challenging the foul on him? I just checked there was fouls on DJ. Foul was called on DJ. 21 white. Yep, hands down, 21 white. Versus challenge.
Oh,
Here we go.
I thought the foul was on Withers. So
That's why they're challenging, I think, is Daniel Johnson was saying, well, I didn't touch it. Todd Withers, you can see this, a bit confused with what's going on.
yeah. So they've called it on. Not there. Oh, there. Okay, is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, across the head, maybe.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
Swipe.
Gee, look, hard to tell, but it looked like he missed him. Or maybe not. Yeah, good luck. Not sure. That one. Jack, what's your?
I'm going to say that
Hard to overrule, I would have thought.
I'm going to say they can overturn this.
Oh,
But I want about 8% for the season. Coach's challenge.
Oh, we all just don't know.
no, it's hard.
You can't see every view, and you can't see everything the referees can see as well. So.
No.
The thing will need to be here is, like all coaches' challenges, it will need to be clear and definitive to over.
Challenge is successful. The foul is void, and we will reset to the jump ball in the centre of the court.
Right. I'm going to buy a Powerball ticket tonight.
Right.
120 million.
At the auction.
Yes, sir.
550 remaining in this third quarter.
Saan yung kamay, years ko, tapos pinuna sa buhok.
So that was worth doing all of a sudden because Machado was on the line for 2 free throws and Johnson was about to pick up his third foul. Instead, DJ stays with 2 and it's a jump ball.
Absolutely. Smart move. Offensively, I'd love to see Hennis and Daniel Johnson in a high pick and roll because you can't guard either one of those guys. I mean, you can't help off on either one of those guys.
Jump ball
They both
kasi
can shoot
kinontes
three.
ni Coach CJ yung foul ni DJ.
He should get lessons. That guy needs lessons. Tell him.
Daniel Johnson.
No, you shouldn't.
It did look like it.
Buti na
You know what?
lang.
Here's the thing. You know how we don't have jump balls anymore? We have the alternating position. That is one of the reasons why.
What are you saying?
That they say that the refs are having so much trouble throwing the ball up straight. I promise you, Coach, that was been part of the reason of why they went to the alternating possession, which is
Oh!
The ball movement from Adelaide.
great, wasn't
Buti
it?
foul.
So you're saying the referee can't throw the ball in the air?
I'm just saying that was one of the reasons why they said they went to the alternating possession was the difficulties with throwing the ball up, and there's a clear foul. And you see the pass, we spoke about the ball moving, the extra passes, but in the first quarter, Cairns were preventing that with their defensive pressure. They're getting hands on ball and not allowing to whip it around, but as Adam Ford alluded to in that
Yes!
timeout, they look like they're playing catch-up, they look soft, and I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he's alluding to.
They've scored 13 points.
Yes!
That's not enough.
They had a chance if this game's far from done, but they can get off the bottom of the table. Here's Machado coast to coast. His first points in the game.
Well, there is a long way to go in this ball game. If you continue, you only have to think back to the first quarter, and if they could replicate that, then they could well and truly get back
May
into
ilang
this
call
all.
yung si ano, yung superstar ng
Get the
Taipans.
Deep
Proud
three,
daw
no
si
good from
Faye sa
Hannahs.
kanya.
Machado tried to spin, but Karen was there to pick his pocket.
It's just not there with Machado. The pace. He's operating in second gear.
Johnson has the size advantage over Jarrett. Likes that fall away. His loose ball falls back to him.
Yes.
Another O board.
Daniel just doesn't look happy, does he? I mean, he rarely smiles, but he just looks like he's not having a good time.
No, you're right. I think that's more just the way he is. He's been like that, very stoic in his demeanour and his expressions.
Led Adelaide for scoring for the 6th time last season. Daniel Johnson,
Yes.
co-MVP with Josh Giddey, just going okay at the moment.
Quite well.
3 triple doubles in a row. It's remarkable to think that this time last year, Coach, he was here in this league. And a big jump up he's made.
Paul Sigan.
And it drops.
The big fella, the big Zim is going to work. 15 and 11.
Well, he's getting rewarded for just effort and energy, and also I think the fact that they're really making a target out of him. They've got showing a lot of confidence, throwing it in there.
One extra for the Tennessee native.
Buti hindi shoot.
Left a few on the free throw line. That's 7 of 13 for the afternoon. Well, not that much better. 14 of 20.
Johannes. Daniel Johnson.
Johnson.
Sukay.
Fed Soto.
Foul.
We got some arm that time.
Yes.
Picks up his third
Foul.
foul.
Let's go, guys. Vision.
Caught much of the All-Star weekend, Coach?
I haven't seen much of it, but I know Australia is well represented, from what I'm hearing.
Dyson Daniels doing some good business.
Is he good?
Hindi ko tuloy mapanood yung slam dunk ni
Jay Sean Tate as well.
Jalen
Shout out to
Green.
Jay Sean a couple of years ago was
Sabay
with the
kasi.
Kings, and
Ay, siya.
his rise has
Sayang.
been unbelievable. Good things happen to good people.
Yes, they do. I got to eat crow because when he first joined the Sydney Kings, I said, he's way too small to play in the NBL. Are you kidding me? They got to kill him.
Oh, ayun. Buti na lang.
Had a fantastic year.
And if you go back 10, 15 years, I think that would absolutely have been the case. But the way the game has evolved with the
Nilabas si Macaron.
five-out action
Binalik
and
si Dopel Mayer.
positionless basketball, and the way we that's right. And defensively, the way they cover can help out guys. These days, it's very hard to play defense in the NBA.
It's hard to play defense in the NBA.
The way it's games officiated.
Yes.
The officiating makes it really hard compared to years gone by.
In other words, Jordan would average 50 in the NBA now.
I think so.
I agree.
That's a bad turnover from the Taipans.
With 17 turnovers.
With a quarter to go and 3 minutes. Good for Meyer. He's had a nice roll in his third quarter.
He has. He's playing quite well. Very consistent.
He's found it hard to get consistent minutes in this rotation. He's earning them today.
Yes. Oh,
Zimmerman just found a way to force it in.
It is. It's not pretty. It's helter-skelter basketball where it's just a lucky bounce. They get away with one there. And you have to figure out a way to find the right rhythm in this one. Find that balance. Maybe move the ball. Get more cutting action.
Jerry wide open.
yes.
He struggled in his return this season. He's shooting 18% from outside, Coach. Last season, shot it at 34%.
Hannes.
Hemmed in on the baseline, travels.
Travel.
Wow. This is one where Adelaide have had the chance to really put this to bed. And as good as they've been, they've got a nice little lead. You just keep the Cairns Taipans hanging around in that touch distance. And from CJ, that makes you nervous. Johnson gets that bill, he can flat out score.
Johnson spins.
Hindi na pinasok si Kai sa fourth quarter kasi
DJ's going to finish
tambak
with
naman yung
18 and
kalaban.
9 across the
Kaya siguro
afternoon.
hindi na pinasok.
Great effort by Adelaide. The fans come out and support their team, though. Those numbers are case.
Ayan, for the first time, pinasok yung itong batang to.
Lockie Albrecht checking in for the last
Parating yung
portion of the game.
nasa bangko
The best
niya.
young basketball talents in South Australia getting an opportunity.
Pero magaling yan.
Great to see some local talent getting some experience at this level.
Isaac Couture, Nick Marshall also in there. Is Lockie
Old
Albrecht.
brick.
I think he still remains eligible for college.
Australian
Being a
rookie.
center of excellence. He's here in the program, but
Bigyan nyo na doon sa bago.
14 down at quarter time. The Adelaide
Di man lang
36ers
binigyan
took
yung
care of the result from that point forward. 82-71, they win on their home floor.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but you'll take the win anytime you can get
Parang,
it. So,
5 points yata si Kai.
I still think Cairns have a bit to
Ewan ko
do.
na
They gotta
kailang
go back to
blocks siya.
the drawing board and find out if this
may
guy
mga
Bachala
blocks
is
siya.
100% or not, and if we're gonna play him. If he's not, then we put the ball back into McCall's hands.
Square the season series off at 1 each. There is our Foot Locker player of the game, Daniel Johnson.
Si Daniel Johnson.
yes, and the boards are the thing. Across the season, early on, only averaging 6 boards. The last 2 games, he's averaged 13, and tonight, or this afternoon, picks up those 9 to go along with those points, a couple of big baskets. And after a terrible start by the Adelaide 36ers, they find a way to flick the switch, get themselves going, and come away with a must-win game in order to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Buti na lang, nanalo yung Adelaide.
That anchors them to the bottom of the Hungry Jacks NBL
Medyo
ladder.
papanik sila.
5 wins, 7 losses on the season. They take on Illawarra on Friday night and Sydney the next Sunday. But coming up next, we head to Victoria.